My great-grandparents have stories from World War II and the Great Depression. My dad has stories from being a Marine stationed in Korea. But none of these are the stories that get told. At our family gatherings, the stories that get told to us are the embarrassing ones. In fact, when I asked my dad for the details of this story, he said I may not want to tell it because it's pretty embarrassing. This story is the reason why I have never met my Aunt Jenny's side of the family. This is the story of my Uncle Kurt's wedding. And this story gave entertainment to me and all of my cousins every single family gathering we've had so far. And in the hopes that it will also entertain you, I will tell it from the beginning of the notorious wedding to the end. First of all, let's set the scene. The last child of a family of 5, my Uncle Kurt, is getting married. And of course, the whole family on both sides is there. The wedding reception is in Maryland at a very efficient and established formal event facility. And the food catering is very efficient, almost too efficient. They got to the point of rushing food on the guests, but it wasn't just food. They also rushed bottle after bottle of bourbon to my alcohol-loving grandmother. And you have to understand this in our family. We drink a lot, and we know it. My grandmother called beforehand to tell the event staff that chances are we were going to get drunk and pretty disruptive. And they said, that's okay. We've dealt with that in the past. But my family still got kicked out. And here's the story how. Although the food service was giving her plenty of alcohol, my grandmother got mad at them for the very same reason. She got angry and frustrated because she thought they were rushing food on the guests and ruining the mood of the wedding. They were pulling dishes away quickly to serve the next course. And of course, in her slightly inebriated state, she decided to do something about it. So she did 3 things. She stood up, she swung at the nearest plate of food, and she shouted at the top of her lungs, "They're rushing me!" Needless to say, the platter of food went flying across the room, and these dessert clumps rolled across the floor in a now dead, silent room. But it didn't end there. She then decided to go into the kitchen and start shouting at the rest of the staff. My dad and a couple others had to go in after her to stop her from doing any more damage. You kind of have to understand how the different families took this into perspective. To my family, it was just another family event because this had happened so many times before. They weren't surprised at all. In fact, they were replaying the whole thing as we walked out of the facility, making fun of what she had done. But my Aunt Jenny's side of the family were very conservative and were aghast at what my grandmother had done. And that's why they've never really communicated with the family since the wedding. But my family was not surprised. It was just another event. And that is why year after year, it is told to me and all of my cousins, all of my siblings, basically the entire family at the expense of my grandma. If you ask my Uncle Kurt, he gives a different side of the story because he wasn't at the table when it happened. He just saw a plate of food flying across the room. And if you ask my grandmother what happened, she doesn't really remember all of it. Thank you.